Hi, my name's Rachel Aston. I'm a regular education teacher at Lower Dolphin School District. I teach 4th grade. What I have here is a picture of my class. We had a May the 4th Be With You party. As you can see, some of the girls have their hair with the Leia buns. A lot of us have our Star Wars t-shirts on. And it was just a fun day. PSSAs were over. The kids had been doing a great job all year and they earned a whole group award. So I worked it out to have it fall on May the 4th Be With You, just as a fun day and to get the next generation of Star Wars fans going. A little bit more about my job, my teaching. I'm a regular education teacher, as I mentioned before. I teach in a hybrid classroom, which means that my students each have a 1-to-1 student-to-laptop ratio. I also have a blended model classroom, and I do this primarily in math. What that means is there is a set of stations that the students go through. They have a direct learning station, an independent workstation, and a collaborative group station, which I will talk about a little bit more later on. Like I said, I teach 4th grade. Last year I was a learning support and resource room teacher for 4th and 5th grades. I was not pulling students out of the classroom, I was pushing in and co-teaching for math and for reading, and I believe very strongly in that, and that position was eliminated from the school for numbers reasons, and I was given the option to do middle school autistic support or to stay in the elementary school setting and teach 4th grade. And I decided to stay in elementary school. As I was growing up and going through college, I always pictured myself in an elementary classroom, just as Archibald discusses us picturing ourselves in a certain classroom. This is the classroom I pictured myself in. Some of my hobbies include hiking and camping. I've been hiking a little bit on the Appalachian Trail. I also do day hikes. We'll go camping for a weekend and then just go hiking around that area. I really enjoy spending time with my family. My parents and brother, I'm very close with them. They live about an hour and a half away, so I get to go visit, or they'll come out and see me when they have time and when there's some fun and exciting things going on in our lives. I enjoy reading. Harry Potter series is definitely my favorite. I grew up as the books were coming out. And currently, some things that are kind of happening in my life. I've been fixing up my house that my fiance and I bought, and he and I are planning our wedding. We have the caterer to decide on. We already have our venue, all that fun stuff. So lots of planning going on in my life right now. Going into some of the questions, the first thing that I want to talk about are just my experiences to give you some background on what I have as experience with online classes. I took an undergrad, I did my undergrad at Elizabethtown College, and I took a winter term course, which was Understanding the Short Story. It mostly felt like I was sitting in a lecture. The professor would record a YouTube video, put it on YouTube, and then we would sit, watch, take notes, answer questions, send the questions back to him, and there was really no discussion amongst the students. And then with Understanding the Short Story, he would have us write our own short story, rewrite a short story, and different things like that. So I feel like it wasn't the most interactive of classes. Since my graduate courses at Millersville have started, this is my 3rd online class and my 3rd class overall. The entire program that I'm taking is online, which is assessment, curriculum, and teaching in the online classroom. And all of my classes will be online, and I have to say I've had a really good experience in all of my classes so far. It's been very teacher directed in the sense of they facilitate questions and then we all discuss things. And I've been building up my confidence in answering questions. I feel as though I'm such a young teacher in this that I like to see what other people have to say and take their opinions and kind of put them in my head and see what I think and then decide, how I feel about that too. I hate to make a snap decision. I like to think and let it settle and think about what I have to say before I say it. With teaching, my online experience is my hybrid blended model classroom, like I discussed. This is my 1st year. The different stations, collaboration, I'll start with that. I'll give examples for my math class. Students will be working on a collaborative project with a partner or with a small group, saying what they are doing the project on a content that they have been working on in the class, or maybe something for those higher level learners. I can cater it to those kids too. Direct instruction is when they are sitting with me. I will give them direct instruction on concepts that they are learning, do some review with them if they're struggling with anything, and make sure that they are feeling confident and ready to move on to the next concept. The independent work would be a review of what they've done the day before or what they have just learned from me. And for, again, those higher level learners, I have them working very independently to make sure that they are being challenged and being able to move ahead at their pace. The first question that I am going to look at is the Archambault article. Which of the challenges of teaching online outlined by Archambault are ones that you want to learn more about? The main one that I found most interesting were student issues, failing versus succeeding, motivation, and goal setting. How do you take what those students are feeling, and how can I, help those students feel motivated and feel like they're succeeding and set goals that are appropriate for them? Most students are very motivated to learn. Fourth graders, they're motivated either by their parents to learn, they still love learning, or they're, generally just excited and happy to be at school. I do have a few students who I feel aren't very motivated in general, and being a new teacher, I feel that is one area that I would like to improve on for myself, is to help those students become more motivated and set some goals for them as well, which brings me to the goal setting. I'm not sure that I did a very good job of goal setting this year, and I would like to learn how to set some goals for them that are realistic, not necessarily get an A+ on the test, but, have an enjoyable math class and feel accomplished and, have your light bulb light up when you understand a concept. And failing versus succeeding, most of the students in my class have been very successful with the online program that we've been using. And I am just wondering on how I can continue that success, in the years to come as I come across different students. And if I do see a student that is failing, how am I able to help them continue to go as they feel they're failing and help them feel like they're succeeding? The other area that is kind of an interesting topic right now, especially in my district in the elementary, is the course content. Obviously, I use what the school is using in terms of math programs, reading programs, supplemental content we share amongst the elementary schools, but how much control do we really have? And I think that's a question that I'm just wondering, is how much control do I have over these things that I'm able to use and pull in? Right now our school was looking at getting a new reading program. As of now, they haven't found anything that they feel is appropriate and up to the rigor that they would like it to be. So they, from my understanding, are going to piecemeal some things together. They're going to get a writing program, get a comprehension program, and just kind of mush all these together. So I'm interested to see where that takes me. I feel like a lot of the teachers, including myself, feel that we're in limbo right now with that. Chapter 4, Setting the Tone. I really enjoyed reading this chapter. I wish I had had it at the beginning of the year when I was just starting out in my classroom, because I would have been able to balance out my role as a teacher in a regular general classroom and then the online classroom. My favorite quote that I read was, "Remember that these are all important and valued members of your learning community, and you should account for them as you begin to plan instruction." This quote made me think of everything that I have ever read as a special education teacher when it comes to IEP meetings. Everyone at the meeting is important. Everyone plays a role in this student's learning. And I feel like I can really pull from that as a special education teacher and my passion for that, and really push it into, okay, here, parents, what do you need from me? What can I give you? Here's what I need from you. Students, here's what we need to do, and just really create that community around that student. So a little bit more from Chapter 4. Table 4.1 is the learning environment roles in a face-to-face classroom. How can I blend this for me? Because I have a very traditional classroom with a little bit of online instruction, so I really want to know how I can blend these, and I think I could come up with a way. I just need to hone in on it a little bit more. Preparing the classroom, the netiquette was great. I can't wait to share that with my class next year, and I think I might share it with the parents as well. let them work with the student to make sure they understand what is expected of them. The INACOL standards. I have a list over here of all the standards that I feel were present and not present. As you can tell, there's lots of nots over there. And the main thing that I noticed were that there were hot button words and phrases to really pull the person in that is watching the video, like differentiating, accredited, personalized, and it made me go back to my resume days when I would think, oh yes, I've seen those before. So just to delve into a couple of these a little further, I feel that the videos focused mostly on the individualized aspects of these programs, but the videos didn't mention the credibility of the learning systems used. They never talk about how assessments are used in any form, and this is a huge issue, or this is a huge discussion right now amongst the whole state and the whole country about assessments and testing, and I thought it was interesting that they never really discussed assessments or how those students are tested and assessed. And the last thing is that the teachers are accredited, but it doesn't mention the training that they may or may not receive. When I came into the hybrid classroom that I'm in now, I received 3 days of training, and then they said, go ahead, have at it. I wish I would have received a little bit more of just some more information about online instruction in general. I feel like I just learned just about the blended model, and then I was kind of set free to do what I wanted. I did have some resources I could use, but I found it very challenging to prioritize what was most important. And after my first year, I'm very excited to go into my second year and see what I can change and to make better. Some final thoughts that I have are the Palmer article. I thought it was very reflective. The good versus bad teachers, when they talk about the speech bubble that just floats in front of the mouth. I definitely know I have days when I feel like I'm just a speech bubble and what I'm saying is just floating in front of me. And some days I feel myself really get into the teaching, and I want to go more towards being the teacher that has that passion. And I guess overall, where do I see myself? The heart of the teacher continuum of, I put myself so much into my teaching, but I don't really know who I am as a teacher because I'm still new, and I like to think I'm still discovering who I am and making sure that I'm taking, as they say, take time for yourself to figure out what you're doing and then make sure that you're working with the kids. INACOL standards, the kind of overarching thought that I had was that it is aligned with current teaching standards and practices, and I really see how, the pedestal that teachers are put on is definitely still in these standards to encourage active learning and to really make sure that students are engaged in getting their needs met and all of those things. And Chapter 4, I'm really excited in general just to use that chapter and put it into actual practice. I can realistically see myself putting it into my classroom next year. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me, and I look forward to hearing any questions that you have for me, and just to ask me questions so I can continue being a very reflective person. Thank you.